Welcome to the Driveway Beers podcast with Mike and Alex. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the show. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share on any platform that you're listening on. All right, welcome back to another episode. We appreciate you coming back. If you don't mind, hit pause on the feed right now. Give us a ranking on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. Rate us 1 through 5 stars. Any rating will work. If you can also leave a review, say we're either nice or that we suck, that would work too. The more reviews we get, the more we get put in front of other people, and more people get to find out about us. Because of you, we've been hitting new highs every episode, and that's a wonderful thing. We appreciate you doing that for us. We're going to go through, piggybacking off the last episode where we talked about our favorite Christmas movies. This episode, we're going to talk about our favorite movies. However, with a twist, it's going to be, we said top 5, but it might end up being top 3 depending on time, but it's going to be the top 5 movies that we would pick if we were homesick without the wife and kids around. So movies that we want to binge watch. The 5 movies we'd want to binge watch on a day when we're home with nothing else to do and no responsibilities. We want to thank Cheers and Spirits in the Arnold Station Plaza for sponsoring this episode. I was sipping on the Elijah Craig last week. This week, I'm back to the Bibb and Tucker, which won our blind taste test. Which, of course, was... I got that from Cheers and Spirits on the recommendation from the person working there, and I appreciate that. When I can go in there and they can give me a personal recommendation for something I might enjoy. They're especially good with the wines over there. For those of you picking up wine for the wife, the girlfriend, a gift, anything. If you don't know much about wine, like myself, I don't know anything about wines. I can go in there and I can say, hey, look, I need to get a bottle of wine for someone that doesn't break my bank and that they're going to enjoy, and they'll point me in the right direction. We also want to thank Brian Schilling with Annapolis Fine Homes. Go to AnnapolisHomeExperts.com. In this real estate market, you do not want to go into it with an inexperienced real estate agent. And Brian's been selling and buying real estate for well over 20 years now. He was my personal real estate agent. I wouldn't recommend him if I didn't think he was an excellent real estate agent that could help you through one of the toughest real estate environments right now, especially if you're a buyer. Home inventory is very low. Prices are still high. Interest rates are still high. And you need someone that knows the market like the back of their hand right now. So I want to thank Brian Schilling at AnnapolisHomeExperts.com. All right, we have Josh back with us again.
Back, baby.
He was had some very interesting takes on the Christmas movies. Mike's over there, as always, with me. He's going to say nothing and make it really awkward for me. Appreciate that.
let you
Let
you wiggle on the hook there for a little bit.
Just wading in that water by myself.
Next time we should just not say anything. See how long we can go without saying anything. Let him just keep talking.
I'm watching the game.
Right. Oh, listen, I think it was like over 2 years ago. I did that one episode by myself. I think you got sick or you were away.
Yeah.
And we were just putting something out. I think I talked in that microphone for 45 minutes, and I felt like a complete idiot. I was like, what the fuck did I just say? I think I rambled on about fantasy football and Apple.
Yeah.
That was not fun. Today we are going to talk about. All right, so the scenario was this: Mike came down with the chills and the flus and all that fun stuff that seems to be going around this winter. Doesn't matter who I talked to. I talked to my aunt up in Massachusetts, and she's hacking up a lung on the phone. Everybody's going through this stupid fucking virus. It's not COVID for all you freaking worrywarts out there.
Or maybe it was.
I mean, so my wife had it. She took 2 COVID tests, a flu test. None of it. It's none of that. It's just a fucking virus that's going around. It sucks. It's a shitty one.
You can't test positive for COVID if you don't test.
That's true. I'm in your boat. I wouldn't test anymore. Like, what's the point of testing at this point?
Just to really inconvenience yourself.
Well, the weird thing is, like, at least with the flu, if you have the flu and you go in within like 2 or 3 days, they test you. Oh yeah, flu's positive. Here's some Tamiflu, right? Mm-hmm. Well, you can do that with COVID, and they've got this Paxlovid drug, but the side effects are ridiculously bad.
Oh no, yeah, my mother-in-law had last year or earlier this year when they were staying with us before their house was built. She had COVID. And they sent her home with Paxlovid. And I was like, I read it. I said, I don't know if you want to take this. And she was, well, what are the symptoms? And I went through it, and it's like, oh no, I'd rather just take my chances with COVID.
Right,
smart choice.
Well, that's like
shitting your guts out and
yeah. Like my wife's in bed. She's on the phone with the nurse at our primary care, and she's like, "Well, we do have Paxlovid. We can give that to you because you've tested positive, but." Let me run down some of these side effects of the drug first before we decide to go that route. And it was like explosive diarrhea, severe pain, severe cramping, muscle aches. Like you were gonna bleed out of your eyes. Like, I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, but they're still like, if you listen, like, so I listened to the Big Bad Morning Show, and there's still, when I'm on my way in, and there's still advertisements on the radio for.
It was on during Sunday football.
Like, and it's like, Paxlovid. If you're this, Paxlovid. Like, brought to you by Pfizer.
They hit you back to back.
We are not brought to you by Pfizer.
No, we are not. Although if they want to pay us, I would change
Take Paxlovid.
Right. I would immediately change the tune. Dude, they were doing, during football, they were literally doing the back-to-back commercials. It was the one with Travis Kelce, Mr. Swift.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they during the Bills Chiefs game, they showed her 3 freaking times. Like, stop.
That's it? Only 3 times?
Only 3 times. Well, they didn't score. They were only 17 points scored, so they couldn't show her every freaking 5 minutes. It was literally Travis Kelce doing while you're getting your flu shot, do two things at once. Yeah. Get your COVID shot too. Like, are you kidding me? Like, we're putting spin on it.
Yeah.
It's like, and then literally the commercial right after that is for Paxlovid, which is for people that don't know, it's like the drug, the antiviral that's supposed to make COVID last longer, but makes you shit out blood.
Yeah, it's pretty much the thing that they had to keep ivermectin off the market to keep the EUA for Paxlovid.
Well, it wasn't
and the vaccine.
They kept ivermectin out because the vaccine and Paxlovid. Yeah. It was both.
Yeah.
Well, first they tried to shoot everybody up with remdesivir too, which that didn't help anybody.
No.
That's another episode, though. This episode is.
We've already got this one flagged.
Right. Non-monetized. Thank you. Hey, at least I'm not going to put a name on it and just get us demonetized without anyone ever listening to it at YouTube.
Yeah.
Did we tell you about that one?
No, I don't recall.
So we talked about a certain presidential candidate with the initials RFK, and he's a junior. So that was the title of the episode. Yeah. Didn't even make it up. Google just flattened it. Just said demonetized, and we got a YouTube strike. No one listens to our damn YouTube channel because we have no video. We got a YouTube strike.
Oh, yeah, we gotta get some video cameras in here.
They would strike it even faster. I don't think they could.
Well, I've got a face for radio, so
yeah, I don't think anyone's looking at us and saying, you know what?
I really wish I could see those guys.
Right. Video worthy.
So yeah, just so you know, like, because everyone has a mental picture of what we look like in their head when we're talking.
Fucking ogres.
It's that bad.
Yeah. It's like the movie Trolls. What are those? What are the green ones?
Oh, what are those things called?
The Bergens.
The Bergens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Josh.
I don't know if I fit that bill. I'm not sure.
Are you here?
I am.
You're
here.
lumped in with us. Then.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Birds of a feather.
What was that from Role Models? If you white, you Ben Affleck. If you in this basement, you're a Bergen. All right, so we're talking about movies again. Last episode we were talking about our favorite Christmas episodes, and we kind of alluded to the fact that it was supposed to be favorite Christmas episodes and our favorite movies that we would want to watch on the couch, no kids, no interruptions, basically anything we wanted to watch with no restrictions, which essentially translates to our favorite movies. This is going to be an interesting list, though, because...
I'm ready. I got 15 rounds. in the clip.
I don't know if we're going to get to 15.
No, we're not.
I'm hoping we're going to get to 5, but
No,
we've already killed 10 minutes of this.
No, and I don't think we're. It's just I just started listing them, and I wanted to make sure that I had enough in case one of you guys chose one of mine, then I'd be good to go.
Okay,
we're going to go guess first. Then we'll let you fire off the first.
So, and I'm just going to say this to just let you peek into my mind of what I thought about when I chose this. These are movies, as we said, where we're home alone. No pun intended. We're home alone. There's no kids. There's no wives. There's probably stuff to do, but we're not going to do it. Right? We don't feel good. Right?
You're saying.
So
you have an excuse to not do it.
Yeah.
Right.
So for me, my list had to be movies that were entertaining, but weren't going to make me think too hard. Like they can't be too complex. Like simple yet fun. Maybe I'm kind of all over the place a little bit. So I am going to... My first item is going to be any of the Lethal Weapon movies. Okay. Except one. So 2, 3, or 4.
So you don't like one?
I don't think one... I think one doesn't really hold up. Probably a rare scenario where the sequel is better than the original.
Was Joe Pesci in 3?
Yes. He was in at least 2 of them. I think he was in 3 and 4. Yeah. But to me, the Lethal Weapon movies, Riggs and Murtaugh, right? I mean, it's just that's classic, late 80s, early 90s cop. It just. You don't really have to think much. It's just, some explosions, just something you can just watch. You'll probably doze off, right? These have to be movies that you're not going to get really sucked into, in my opinion, because you're probably going to take a nap. And to me, and if we have to pick one, I'll just say Lethal Weapon 2.
I think we'll leave it in as the Lethal Weapons.
Lethal Weapons. Okay,
I think
I'm okay with that.
You're probably only
and I'll take
one.
and I'll accept one as being part of that group. Right. Just because if it's one, it's one.
Mike, what's your first?
All right, so I have a whole bunch, and since this recently just happened to me, like last week, I watched Greyhound. So, Greyhound is an awesome movie. If you haven't seen it, Tom Hanks, captain of a destroyer, World War II, crossing the North Atlantic.
Can't say have you seen it?
I haven't, but I know why a lot of people haven't seen this movie.
I'm one of them.
Because it only came out on Apple Plus.
Yeah, so
it did not come out in theaters. It didn't. It's only been on Apple Plus.
Yeah, it was released in 2020 on Apple Plus, and that was it.
So why is this a good sick movie?
So I am a little bit different. I like movies that suck me in.
The exact opposite of what I said.
Yeah, and I think it's just depending on what you're. And the thing is, the movies that I like are not kid friendly. They're not wife friendly. So if I'm going to watch them, it has to be when they're not around to like. Oh, I want to watch a rom-com, or I want to watch something with cartoons. Like no, it's like they're not going to want to see Greyhound.
Right.
The boys, when they're older, might want to see it because stuff gets blown up.
We're not there.
But the blowing up of stuff is not CGI eye candy. It's like almost they try to make it as realistic as they could.
Sure.
So it's a lot of it is the submarines are underwater, so they're using sonar but it's almost suspenseful too. Like you're right there. Yeah.
I've seen bits and pieces of this on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like because some people they'll post like clips of movies and they'll keep posting the clips.
Yeah.
And they're yes, I've seen this. Looks very interesting.
Yep.
Very well produced production wise.
Oh no, it was
an Apple Plus movie, if I may say.
Yeah, I think it was
Apple was putting a lot of money into Apple Plus.
I mean, Tom Hanks is the star of it. So
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is, the movie's cool because it starts like it's slow for about, not even slow, but like he meets with his girlfriend or whatever right in the beginning, like in the train station in New York. He's getting ready to go to sea, and he meets her for the last time around Christmas time. So it could have been a Christmas movie. And they go out, and then the second they have their first contact with the submarine, it just goes, and like it doesn't stop until the end of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's and it has some suspense in there because you can't see these submarines, like they're, it's just pings on a sonar, so it's good stuff.
And I think this is going to be interesting because obviously we're taking different approaches. So the comments on the video, it's going to. I guess we'll see whether the couch potatoes on sick days are going your route or more about my route, and we don't know what route Alex is taking.
I'll get right into it. My first movie that I'll watch every time is Goodfellas.
Oh, good one.
How long is that movie?
3 hours.
Okay, that's a long it's pretty long.
And I'll be honest with you, I like the beginning portion better than the middle and the end. So the beginning portion is when he's young and he's getting into it, and it goes like it's kind of like the first 2 seasons of Sopranos when there's a lot of killing and a lot of mafia stuff going on,
right?
And then it gets into like the angsty stuff and the prison, and then the wife drama. I was like, okay, I'll survive that. I'll get in. It's
the
fine.
ducks,
right? And so like I feel like Goodfellas, if you only watch the first hour and a half, you got the best part of the movie, in my opinion. But I'll watch it every time.
Not to, I don't want to go off because this isn't on my list, but The Irishman.
Yeah.
Really good.
I love that movie.
Really good. And that's recent, right? 2020-ish?
It is.
It was like Netflix only?
It was a COVID era movie.
Right.
It's 3+ hours.
Right, and I didn't know that when I started watching it, and didn't realize it until I was about 45 minutes in, and realized I was kind of still in the first act, and I was like, holy crap, and I paused it, and I was like, holy crap again.
So I kind of cheated before I watched it, because I knew it was so long.
Yeah, I didn't know.
And I kind of was reading out, I didn't want any spoilers or anything, but there was something online that said, how to break up The Irishman into 3 acts.
Nice.
And so I knew exactly where to stop it, and then I'd pick it up later.
Good deal.
Yeah. It was probably the most helpful thing I found on the internet of all time.
That's an example, right? Because I think, and again, not to go too far off on a tangent, but most of the mafia movies and things like that, I feel have age to them, like The Godfather, Goodfellas, things like that. This was a more modern, I mean, even though it was still based off of, in the past, I guess, if you will, but it was a modern day rendition of mafia, and I thought they did a fantastic job.
Yep. What's your next one?
I'm gonna go with Reservoir Dogs.
We got different tastes in movies.
Yeah, for sure. Reservoir Dogs.
That's Tarantino, isn't it?
Yeah. It is. So I think they kind of, and I'll throw it out there because I don't think I'm going to use this other one. I was debating on either this or The Usual Suspects, which I don't know if that's a Tarantino movie, but
it is not.
It's
in that same vein, though.
I put that in the same as like Memento or the movie Seven, because it's got that twist at the end that you never saw coming.
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs, the Tarantino movies are straightforward.
Yeah, and again, it's just something that I can put on, watch, and fall asleep midway through, and I don't really care. So yeah, Reservoir Dogs.
I almost feel like you could put that and what's the other one I'm thinking of? Pulp Fiction together.
It didn't make my spoiler alert, didn't make my list, Pulp Fiction, but there's times that if I'm flipping through and Pulp Fiction's on, I'll just leave it on because it's one of those movies.
I feel like that's a Tarantino movie. They both are.
So good.
Kind of in the same vein of a movie. Like, like if I watched one, I wouldn't be able to tell you which one it was. Kind of.
Yep.
Like I probably guessed the wrong one if I watched either one of them. It's one of those things, right? Whereas his later stuff like Kill Bill was distinctly different.
I never watched that. It
that shit was gory as hell.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, it didn't interest me at all.
Chopping people up.
Yeah,
just crazy.
I never saw. I'm never not too big into those.
Volume 2. Was there a Volume 1?
So
Volume 2 was the
original
first
Kill Bill, yeah, and then there was Volume 2 or something.
I don't know. I never saw any of them. So
I didn't think it was that great of a movie, but there's just a lot. Like in his movies, you're gonna see violence.
Yeah,
and this was like way over the top, and Kill Bill. But all right, Mike, what's your next one?
All right, so I'm gonna, like I said, I like to think and follow. So, I have a bunch in here that are so kind of similar, like in that vein. But one of the ones that I've never seen the whole thing of, and I really want to, is Catch Me If You Can.
Oh yeah,
Good movie.
Yeah.
That's
Leo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks.
Yep.
Yeah, good movie.
Yeah, I think I've seen the whole thing beginning to end one time. But it's one of those movies that'll come on. I'm like, oh, I want to see it, and then I, don't get to watch it.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, no,
that's a sneaky good one.
Yeah,
because no one really remembers it. And then, but you see it, like you said, you see it playing on TV, and you're like,
and I think that was one of DiCaprio's better performances. He didn't win an Oscar for it. He has won an Oscar, but he didn't win it for that one.
That's an underrated movie.
Yeah, it really is.
All right. I'm trying to. I'm a little bit torn on where to go here. Mm-hmm. We don't really have a comedy in here yet.
Okay.
I mean, Lethal Weapon is kind of a comedy, but a little bit of action, right?
Lethal Weapon's definitely a comedy.
Sure.
Not a full-fledged comedy.
It's a buddy
like Anchorman is a full-fledged comedy, right? Lethal Weapon is not Anchorman.
Right.
But it's a buddy comedy.
Buddy cop comedy.
I mean, Riggs and Murtaugh.
Yeah.
I'm going to go full comedy.
Okay.
But
there's a but.
It also has military.
Okay.
Down Periscope.
Oh, wow.
Not a lot of people have seen this movie.
I'm one of them.
So, Kelsey Grammer, back in his Frasier days.
Frasier. In Beast from the X-Men.
Yep. I'm a big Kelsey Grammer fan. I dig his kind of humor.
For sure, absolutely. Frasier, another great show that you don't have shows like that anymore.
Right. By the way, they rebooted it, so now there's a Frasier 2023 version
with the same people.
Yep, they brought the cast back.
The whole cast.
Yeah, I haven't seen
his dad.
What's that? Well, except the dad, you already,
because
probably the dog.
Because here's where I say that he's passed on, and and Alex will laugh after that.
He's in the better place, if you will.
Better place.
Yeah. Down Paris. So Kelsey Grammer, Lauren Holly, back in her day. Rob Schneider is in that.
An American gem.
So basically, the idea is this guy. He's like the delinquent captain who they haven't given a ship yet. He's a first officer. Well, they got this mission for him where they basically need a dummy who they think is going to be a patsy in the whole thing. But really, he's like a really brilliant captain. So they put him in charge of an old diesel, thinking that he'd be easy to find, and because that's the idea. Like he basically has to make a charge on Norfolk.
Yeah.
And they think he's going to be an easy target, and things ensue. But anyway, the whole crew, like they give him a whole shitty crew that they think it's a shitty crew, and just a really good watch, like from start to end, and really just an underrated movie. If you like war movies and comedy, this is one to go for.
And that one kind of came out. That was around the time of Hunt, it came out after Hunt for Red October, Crimson Tide, all those realistic, serious submarine movies.
Yep.
What was the one that came out after Top Gun and Iron Eagle and with the air?
Was it Hunt for Red October?
No,
with Sean Connery.
It was a comedy, making fun of Top Gun, like parodying Top.
Oh yeah,
Hot Shots Part 2. Or Hot Shots and then Hot Shots Part 2.
Part 2. Yeah.
That was right. That was like Naked Gun type comedy.
Yes.
Yeah, like Leslie Nielsen type stuff. Yeah, this is like it's the movie with good comedy. Not like it's not slapstick.
Yeah,
it's like actual written comedy. Just it's a real sleeper movie. If you haven't seen it and you got some downtime, definitely watch it.
Yeah, see, I think what Mike's approach to this is he's using this opportunity to watch movies that he wouldn't normally be able to watch.
Right.
You can't watch this with kids.
No. I'm just, but that's just where my approach is. I'm picking movies that like I've probably seen these movies multiple times, right?
So you can put it on and fall asleep.
I can put it on and fall asleep. Yes, totally different approach.
You're not putting it on to be
even for
entertained.
yours.
I'm putting it on to be entertained.
I assume I'm going to be entertained until I fall asleep, right? And I'm not falling asleep because of my lack of entertainment. I've seen it a million times, right? And I'm probably sick, got some Dayquil, some quill in me or whatever.
So you're saying you got the wrong assignment?
No, I think we're just.
I think everyone's approach.
It's a different approach.
Yeah.
I mean, these are movies that you're going to watch while you're on the couch, sick, with no kids and the other around. Then you're doing it right.
Right. So I'm going to reach down on my list, and you guys, and you may not know this. This is going to be a stretch for some of the viewers that may not know. And I'm going to say, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with Miramax films.
Heard of it.
Specifically the ones that there's another production company called View Askew that worked with Miramax, and they produced movies such as Jay and Silent Bob, Clerks, Mallrats, Dogma, Chasing Amy. There's a whole series where it's all the same actors. It's Ben Affleck. They all kind of crossed over to a degree. Any of those movies, and those they're totally sleeper movies. They're so good.
Dogma's great.
Dogma was great. Yeah. It brought religion into a movie, but at the same time was somehow not very religious. It was like it was interesting how they did it. And they all were in the same movies. It was just so good.
The Catholic Church tries to rebrand itself with Buddy Jesus.
I think Alanis Morissette ended up being
God,
right in that movie. But any of those Miramax films, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Clerks, and they've got Clerks too. And if they're on, I could leave that on the TV, watch it for 25, 35 minutes, fall asleep, wake up, and feel good about myself.
I'm just going to put Kevin Smith movies. Because he was the director on all those.
Potentially. I can't say for certain. I just know it's Miramax in association. And maybe View Askew is...
It could be him.
Maybe that's him.
He's the guy... You know who I'm talking about. You know who
he is. Yeah. He's Silent Bob.
Yeah. And he went wacko with the COVID stuff, didn't he?
A little bit, but a lot of people did.
I think he lost all the weight and he lost his mind with it. He lost a shit ton of weight.
But... yeah, any of those movies.
Someone needs to tell him, though. He's got to... look, man, you dropped like 100-something pounds.
I liked him better when he was big.
Right, but
just
sorry. You can't wear the same clothes.
Yeah.
You're still wearing the backward hat, except now your head looks tiny. And you got the same long-ass shorts.
He did, for some reason, keep the same clothes, it would seem like.
Right. He's wearing the same...
He's got the money to buy new clothes.
Right, the jacket with the T-shirt. It's like, look, man, that looked all right when you were a certain size, but now that you're a different size, it doesn't look good. Like, I'm not saying... like,
well, it didn't look good before. And now it looks really bad.
You're very right. But yeah, it's like, come on, man. I get it. Because he goes to all those, like, Comic-Con things. Like, that's where he makes his money now. And so he has to dress a certain way, I guess. Or, like, he feel like that's part of him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, bro...
well, he still kind of maintains the Silent Bob persona, even though he's not silent anymore. Or, you know what I mean.
He's got to let it go. He's in his 50s at this point. Like,
let it go for what? Why? Who cares?
I don't know. Just because from an outside, like someone who grew up with his, like, I watched those movies. It's like, brother, it's okay to let it go. We've let it go. Like you can just be Kevin Smith, whatever that is, you know.
Yeah, Mallrats was great. If you're listening and you haven't seen Mallrats, watch it. It's going to make you miss malls.
People don't realize he did a lot of good movies back then.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
What's that line from try not to blow anyone on your way out to the park?
It was like, and it was actually, I think it was Mallrats where Jay and Silent Bob made their first appearance, and it was that led into the Jay and Silent Bob, and then Strikes
Clerks
Back, and then
it wasn't Clerks. That was
well, they were in Clerks too, right? I don't know which came first, Clerks or Mallrats. I'm not sure.
It was Mallrats and then Clerks.
But they were in the mall, and then they were at the store, and then they got their own movie.
It was Mallrats where they're staring at the thing, trying to find the picture in it.
At the mall, I believe, yeah.
Had what's her face? The girl from Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, so I was just about to say there's one girl, I think she was Amy in Chasing Amy, that was just smoking hot back in the day.
And she was also
Joey something. Joey.
but didn't she always? She ended up in the Sandler movies too.
Maybe. Joey Adams.
Wasn't she? Was she the girl that worked at Hooters and Big Daddy?
Yes.
Yeah. And it was Joey Lauren Adams.
Oh, sorry, Joey Lauren Adams.
That's just what Google told me. But back in the day, I mean, and I guess still is to a degree. But
she's probably a cougar now.
You could say it.
Yeah, but no, she was smoking hot and Chasing Amy and Mallrats. She was good.
Age.
Was she? She was in Dazed.
They're not cougars when they're our age,
right? Yeah. Well, she was in Dazed and Confused too. I'm pretty. Yeah,
she was in Dazed and Confused.
She was like the hot white girl in all the movies.
She was the girl that was like trying to flirt with the nerdy guy. I think at
the hot girl next door. Yeah, that was her. Yeah.
But great movies.
All right, Mike, you're up.
I'm up. All right, so
bitch, it's another one.
I'm gonna go with not war movie. Though I do love my war movies.
Yeah, I got one. I got one coming up.
But it's a Leo DiCaprio movie.
Oh, hold on.
It's not The Notebook. He wasn't in that. That was Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh wait, The Notebook.
It's a Nicholas Sparks movie.
Right.
That's on my wife's stay-at-home.
Hold on. I want to see if I can get this. Is Mark Wahlberg in this movie too?
No, but that's a good guess.
Brokeback Mountain.
I've
Wait,
never
that was Heath Ledger.
No, I don't know the name of the movie though.
Wolf of Wall Street. That one is.
Yeah. Right.
He's a Massachusetts State Trooper. What is it?
Rounders.
No.
You keep talking about yours. I'll look that up.
Yeah. So Wolf of Wall Street. It's long, and you got to think. Jonah Hill's in it. Great story.
It's a good flick.
Yeah.
It's a good flick. Man, now that you're bringing some up, I'm writing others down. I don't think I'm going to be able to get all mine in.
No, my list has gone from 5 to 25.
Because every time you bring one up, and there's an actor in it, I'm like, oh wait, remember that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, remember that movie?
Like The Departed.
Yes, that's the one.
I was not a fan of that.
So yeah, I don't know. It's funny because I don't think I've seen it from start to finish. I've seen most of it.
Yeah.
I can't remember ever seeing it. But that's where I thought you were going. That would be a movie that. Yeah, I thought that's where you were going.
See, that's a movie where I'm not smart enough to follow it. And I got lost halfway through about who was good and who was bad.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
And so the reason it didn't make my list is because, like I said, my mindset was I don't want movies where I'm going to have to lay down and like totally focus to make sure I keep up with the plot and everything. And the only reason Reservoir Dogs is on there, even though it's kind of plot-ish, I've seen it before. So it's like, I'm not really doing too much thinking because I already know.
I might need to watch The Departed one more time just to see if I can piece things together. Because Mark Wahlberg in that thing is funny.
Yeah, he really is.
Like the amount of shit he gives these other cops is hysterical. So it's a cop movie. He's a cop. They're cop, and like
Matt Damon's in that movie too.
Yeah,
yep, he is.
Well, De Niro. There's a lot of people in that movie.
Matt Damon's like the bad guy in that.
Yeah. All right. Gee, now I'm writing down another movie. Okay. I'm going for a twofer on this, and you're gonna have to give it to me.
Because I'm gonna have to give what to you?
I guarantee that
you want two movies.
I'm taking two.
Are they sequels?
No, they're not related. They're two Guy Ritchie movies, and if you watch one, you don't know which one you're watching.
I don't think I'm okay with this.
They're basically this. You would think that they're the same movie.
Was that Black Sheep and the other one?
So it's Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
I don't know if I can let you take both of those at the same time. I don't.
It's the same movie.
How are you connecting them?
They're both Guy Ritchie. They both have who's the guy from the Transporter? Jason
Statham.
They both got Jason Statham when he was young. They both got that guy Vinny something. Vinny when he it was all those British.
So can I take Fast and the Furious and Triple X because they both have Vin Diesel in it?
You might as well throw Saving Private Ryan in there too.
There you go. They're basically the same movie, right? I mean
these two movies, they're basically wearing the same clothes. They didn't even change. They didn't even change the wardrobe. They just literally continued the movie into
pick one.
I'll do Snatch.
There you go. Okay. And I'll tell you what, that's the one I would have picked too. I
really like the other one though.
But I would have given you Top Gun and Days of Thunder. Days of Thunder
is basically the same movie.
It's just Top Gun with minus a dimension.
Yeah, they landed a plane, they got into a car. Yeah. It's basically it's a sequel almost.
Yeah, Goose doesn't die. He's just messed up.
Sometimes you need friends to make decisions. You know what? You made me make the decision to go with Snatch, and you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy I went with that one.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think we're gonna have a lot of listeners that have seen Lock, Stock, and Kid Rock and Robots. Was
Lock,
that
Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels?
Okay, that's it. Yeah.
It's good flavor.
I don't know if I've even seen that.
It's a good time.
I'm not sure.
It has like the same soundtrack too. I swear to God, you're gonna watch it and be like, I think I've seen this before. It's the same actors, it's the same wardrobe. The plot is a little bit different.
Snatch was good though.
It was so good.
Snatch was good. All right.
That's another one where the ending kind of creeps up on you. You don't see that coming. Fantastic. All right, Josh.
What number are we on?
This is number 4.
This is number 4.
So you got this and one more. Although we're doing well on time though.
Yeah.
So we could make it a top 6, but I
think 5's a good So I think it should be 5 with honorable mentions. Like it's tough to go.
No additional talk on the honorable mentions though.
Well, it's gonna be, I can't.
You can't promise.
I can't promise that, right? Because there's some ones that we're even not really talking too much about.
That is true.
Okay. I'm going to skip over the one that I feel is going to be too cliche, and I'm going to say Groundhog Day.
I can get by that. Yeah, I can get behind that.
I've never seen it.
Don't worry.
Never. I know.
It's. Again, you don't have to think about it too much. The plot is very simple. And if you get up and go to the bathroom and come back in 5 minutes, surprisingly, you're not going to miss anything. And I say there's spoilers, right? Because I don't know what year it's been. I don't know what year it came out.
The title kind of gives that away.
Yeah, it really does. But good movie. Great movie. Great movie.
Mike, you're up.
I'm up. Okay, so there's 3. I gotta pick one.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm not gonna go into all 3, but
this is you with the exasperation over there.
Yeah.
Fine.
I mean, I guess I did say every Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Right. You got 6 movies in one.
But mine at least all have the same name. You're like, oh, here's 2 movies that aren't connected, but I'm gonna.
I gave you all the Kevin Smith movies in one go.
So I could pick. Yeah. So I could pick all 5 war movies if I want, because I'm into history and.
You're gonna pick the one I'm gonna pick.
No, I'm not going to war at all. Oh. I'm actually going with.
Spoiler alert.
Moneyball.
I wrote that down.
And the other one was Draft Day.
Yep. And you know what? That's almost the same movie.
Right.
They're very close. Yeah.
And then the other one was 42, which is still sports.
So which one did you go with?
Moneyball.
Yeah. That's the one to go with.
Yeah.
Although, look.
Yeah.
Draft Day pisses me off. I'm going to explain why.
Bo Callahan, baby.
Draft Day could have been a much better movie than it was. And that's saying a lot because it was a good movie. The acting was such fucking shit in that movie. I'm a Kevin Costner fan. I am. I think he does a lot of good things.
Shout out Kevin Costner.
Jennifer Gardner sucks. She overacts in every movie she's fucking in.
Well, that's why she's typecast as the mom now.
Correct.
And I don't like the owner was blah. Like the guy.
Oh yeah, he's a big name actor too, and he fucked that role up. The assistant coaches fucked it up. Dennis Leary fucked up his role. like
Kevin Costner was really the only good actor in that movie.
And even he was like over the top in some of this shit. It's like the whole cast overacted this movie. But the premise of the movie was fantastic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think like Moneyball was the same premise, but they just nailed it on all fronts.
Brad Pitt really, really hit that character.
Well, Jonah Hill too.
Yeah.
But he was excellent in that movie.
But unlike Draft Day, where there was a lot of other things going on, I feel like Brad Pitt carried that movie. It was basically him from start to finish. Jonah Hill was there. Jonah Hill, contributed and all this other stuff, but it was him.
Yeah.
He was in like every scene. I don't know if there was a scene without Brad Pitt. And that was not his normal genre. Yeah.
I'm going to throw... Philip Seymour Hoffman played Art Howe in that movie. The manager of the club.
Oh.
And the fact that you just realized that's who played it.
Well, what
shows
else was
how good
he
of a
in?
job he did playing that.
What else was he in? He was a bad. I feel like he was a bad guy in a movie. Oh, he was a bad guy in some of them in one of the Mission Impossible movies.
So that dude's been in a, he was
the
in
one where they were like putting the masks on to make them look like themselves. Yeah, yeah.
He was also in Along Came Polly as Ben Stiller's best friend.
Right.
He was also in Boogie Nights.
Oh, that could be on the list too. That's a good movie.
That could be on.
He was Scotty in Boogie Nights. He was the lighting guy or the microphone guy in Boogie Nights. He was hysterical in that role.
He was a lot younger back then.
But I mean, that guy. If you go through his little portfolio of movies that he played in,
yeah,
like he did Truman Capote too. I mean, that guy's a chameleon of an actor, and then he, snorted a little bit too much coke, which he all the good ones do. You know what I'm saying? They all go down that dark path. Maybe that's why they're so good at what they do. R.I.P. Philip Seymour Hoffman. All right.
So this is number 5.
No, this is my number 4. I'm the last in this rotation.
Oh wait. Yes. Sorry.
I'm last in the rotation. So this is my number
ahead.
4. And I've got a tough choice because I know I only got one more after this. This is where it's going to get tough.
Why don't you just try to pick them both again like you did last round?
Because they're not related. They're not even close.
Just come up with some crazy connection. Be like, they're kind of the same movie.
Oh, man. Okay, so if I'm being true to being sick on the couch watching...
I hope so.
Forrest Gump. I gotta pick it because I will watch. I know myself. If it's, I'm sitting there, I'm flipping through the channels. Forrest Gump's on. I leave it on.
And I think I should have asked that in the beginning. Are these movies that we're going out of our way? Like your list sounds like they're movies that you're going out of your way. That you're
100%.
You're gathering maybe a drink. Maybe something.
Popcorn.
Yeah, even though you're sick, right? Just sick, quote unquote. But you are going and firing up the streaming service that you use and pulling these movies. Where my list is definitely like I'm looking for that WGN Saturday matinee type movie that's on back in the day. Which it's already 15 minutes into the movie.
You're almost like the Sunday after the Super Bowl. And there's no football on.
Yeah,
and you're literally that meme from Narcos where they just show Pablo Escobar sitting on the swing, but just looking out into nothing,
standing in the empty pool,
doesn't know what to do with himself.
My list are movies that I'm flipping through, and when I see it, and it's like 15 minutes in, I'm like, I'm watching. This is what I'm landing on.
And I'm in the middle of both of you.
Yeah, but this one you said
this is the one. If it's on, I'll watch
if it's on. So and that's what triggered me to even say that. Yeah. So okay, I'm interested now.
I don't think I would. I would not fire that one up.
You wouldn't fire this one up.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't fire
if it's there, I'm watching it.
I wouldn't fire any of mine up. That's my list.
Yours are just on.
They're just on. I'm not firing any of these up.
I mean, I think you could do this list any way you want in that regard.
That's okay.
I think there's a multitude.
I think I'm going to agree with this pick.
And we're gonna miss a lot of movies though.
Oh, for sure.
Like I've got probably 8 more, and I got 1 pick left.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just what I've thought of.
Right.
Like I thought, should I try? I was wondering, should I try and be like the edgy guy and pick the one that no one's really heard of, or should I just go with what everyone's thinking? And so I went with Forrest Gump is what everyone probably shot.
Oh wait, he already picked it right. I was sitting here waiting for him to say it, but he already said Forrest Gump.
I did,
yeah. I like Forrest Gump. Like you turn it on, and he's at the rally at the Washington Monument, right? And they're getting ready to unplug the microphone because he's talking about the war in Vietnam, right? That's a good pick.
I can pick it up at any point in the movie. Point. I know what's happened. I know what's coming. I'm still going to watch it.
And then you watch it and you're like, man, I hate that Jenny. You know what I mean? Like, what a...
She is like one of the most dislikable characters in a movie.
Yeah, they tried to...
And then at the end, she comes back and she's like, here's your kid.
Yeah, they really tried to save her at the end. Not save her because she was dying. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. But she just did too much, And
she shit on him the whole movie.
So fun fact, and I don't know too much about this, but I saw in an interview that they were really close to making Forrest Gump 2. Really close. I don't, and I know this is a great story. Look it up, right? Just Google it, right? But Hanks talked about this. I mean, they had a script. They had a script written soon after the first, and then something happened. I don't know what it was, and he says to this day he's glad they didn't make it. But they, I mean, it was totally written.
I'm glad they didn't make it too. I don't think there's no second movie you were going to make from Forrest Gump that was going to be anywhere near as good as the first one.
And the way he described the sequel, he didn't go too much into detail, but remember how they put him in different historical scenes?
Yes.
He was talking about some of the historical scenes that they had planned out for him in 2, and the way it seemed like is they were just going to make a second movie and find ways to force him into other historical events.
Okay. Yeah. Like he would have been standing at
like when he was drinking Dr. Pepper with I don't know what president it was. Was it FDR? Johnson. Yeah.
I have to pay.
He actually he listed a few of the scenarios. I think one of them had to do with space, like the moon. I don't know, but
at the World Trade Center on 9/11,
right? Yeah, you'd have to go that route. I mean, they did the moon landing. I thought.
Yeah, so maybe that wasn't one.
Because that was before Vietnam.
Yeah, but he wasn't on the moon.
No, but I think they showed him watching.
They did. Well, no, I think it was like on the TV in the background when he was. I don't know, but yeah.
Yep.
So,
what's your fifth?
So this is my fifth, right? This is my last ranked ranked one. Now,
wait, is this your top ranked?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's just 5.
Okay, all right.
I'm not sure if I'm putting them in any specific order.
I feel
like I picked. I feel like my first one was probably my top ranked, but I mean, honestly, these are all kind of...
I definitely haven't been going in order.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I've kind of jumped around a little bit. I have it down to... Oh, now it's down to 4. All right. The Truman Show.
I can see that.
It's just... It's a fun movie.
That's Jim Carrey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Jim Carrey. It's just a really fun movie, and I can remember after I watched it for the first time, it makes you think. Like you're like, man, like maybe my life, there's cameras everywhere, and somewhere someone's watching this, but it's a good movie. It's a good movie. Truman Show.
Get out now.
But that movie, so that's one of the ones where Jim Carrey wasn't being goofy with all the stupid faces and...
Yeah. I kind of feel like Adam Sandler, to me, became a better actor when he did the straight roles. I mean, he could do them comedically, but in Uncut Gems, he was phenomenal, right? And in other movies, it showed he was able to act, and Steve Carell kind of did this too. And I feel like Jim Carrey only did it once, and that was in the Truman Show. And then he went back to trying to make it. Then he went back into the Grinch and acted like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the Grinch because it played into what he does best. But I felt like he was probably a much better actor if he would have taken some different roles. And like I said, Steve Carell did it in a few movies and TV shows, and Sandler did it. and it kind of showed that, and Will Ferrell did it in a couple movies too, where he got away from the Ricky Bobbies and some of the other stuff, and he played some other roles that were a little bit. When you watched it, you're like, oh shit, this guy can actually act.
Yeah, I like seeing actors get outside of what they kind of do all the time. So, when Sandler did, was it Funny People he was in?
Sandler, yeah.
Where he played a comedian, but he's like a comedian that's dying.
Yep.
And really like not a very like pleasant person either. Mm-hmm. That was cool. I think Spanglish was another one with Adam Sandler where he kind of broke, outside the water boy, because his first movies were really just a lot of SNL characters kind of warmed over.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I watched a movie with it's called The Butterfly Effect. It had what's his name?
Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah. Who kind of got outside of his
very outside.
Yeah. Like pretty boy, goofy, dope type of role. So
I like that movie, but I don't want to watch it again.
Yeah, it's not even on my list.
No, so. It's not. I don't want to watch it again. I like the movie, but it was just such a downer. It wasn't like I think it's like the essence of the good guys don't win at the end, right? Like it was just, when you watch a movie, like you kind of expect and want that like conclusion and that was one of the movies, great movie, but you don't get that satisfaction at the end. And for that reason, I won't watch it again because I don't. It was as good as it was.
And there's one I just watched, and it's deep, and it's not I think it's The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, and that does not end the way you'd think it would end at all. So I don't want to spoil it for anyone. Check it out. It's. I mean,
you're not making me. You're not making it sound like a movie I want to watch.
Well, and going back to. So I want to go back to Steve Carell real quick. So. There's some movies that he did after The 40-Year-Old Virgin. One was called Dan in Real Life and The Way Back. Or The Way Back. Where you don't realize it's him in some of these. And there was another like Last Flag or something like that. It was a movie with Bryan Cranston and Steve Carell did that one too. Like he went away from all that like 40-Year-Old Virgin like dumb comedy stuff. No, don't get me wrong.
The Michael Scott character, basically.
I mean, I love The 40-Year-Old Virgin. One of my favorite movies of all time. But seeing him in those other movies, he's probably one of my favorite actors because of those other movies. It's just an interesting. I like seeing comedians go in that other route. It's just neat. All right, Mike.
Okay, so The Artist. It's a black and white silent film. Won an Oscar in 2011.
Okay, here we go.
I'm completely kidding.
I was like, well, this is taking a turn.
Yeah. No, I have a bunch of stuff on here, and I got to pick one of them. So I guess if we have some time, we can kind of go through our
We can do some honorable mentions just to kind of get the rest of the list out there.
Yeah. But I'm going to go with Blow. Ooh. I love that movie.
Derek for real.
Like, it's just...
By the way, again, Pee Wee Herman played Derek for real in that movie.
I never saw this movie.
You never saw Blow?
No.
Oh, so
does it have to do with like cocaine or drug use?
Oh, yeah.
So,
I assume so. Okay, so
essentially,
on the right track.
It talks about how the cocaine market was established in the United States with just a couple dudes in Miami and some flight attendants. And they started out flying suitcases full of marijuana from California to Miami. Then they switched over to cocaine, and how he was connected to Escobar. They had so much money they didn't know. It's like they had a house. You'd walk in, it was just money. Like they didn't know what to do with it. So, really gets into like how it started and the characters and the players and I guess it takes place in the 70s. So there's a lot of like.
Sounds similar to what was it like American? What was that movie?
American Made,
yeah, American Made.
Yeah,
was that Tom? It was Tom Cruise, right?
Cruise,
yeah, great. That was a good movie, but sounds similar. There was drug trade involved.
So there was a docu-series called Cocaine Cowboys.
Yes, very good.
That those people are in the movie Blow.
Okay, Cocaine Cowboy is very good.
Yeah. So, in fact, that was almost on my list, but I was trying to stay away from series because, oh, I got an easy one. Like, let's just binge watch Game of Thrones.
Right. So, I'm a big fan of movies that essentially are documentaries, but with real actors. Mm-hmm. So, like, American Made is one of them.
Yeah. Catch Me If You Can is one.
Catch Me If You Can. Blow. Like
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah. Like I love those type of movies.
Lethal Weapon.
Right?
Okay, maybe not.
Was it War Dogs?
War Dogs.
That's a great movie.
So I haven't gone through my final one.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say that one, but it's on this list. I've got 3, 4, I got 5. I can't, man, this is tough. All right.
While he's deciding, I'm just gonna say I'm so mad at myself. I just thought of another movie. I'm so mad at myself. I'm so mad at myself.
I'm not gonna regret it, but I haven't done a war movie yet.
Oh man.
Saving Private Ryan.
Okay.
Oh yeah. All right.
Good one.
If that is on, that's another one that I'm just not happy with how it ended. I get it, right? Is it based on a true story?
Yep.
Or actual events? Like,
yes.
It's loose. I wanted Tom, you want Tom Hanks to make it home. Like, as much as you want to get the Ryan, I'll watch it, but man.
When you watch that movie, only one person from the original group lives.
Yeah.
Everyone else gets killed.
Good cast, great cast, actually. If I may say, a lot of people took lesser roles, which
Well, hold on. So Vin Diesel's in that movie, but that was before he was Vin Diesel.
He's credited as Vin Diesel,
right? But I don't mean before he was Vin. He was always calling himself Vin Diesel.
Yeah,
but it was before the Fast and Furious movies. Yeah, I think it was before.
And actually, he gets killed quickly. He's the first one killed.
And the guy from Dazed and Confused, Adam something, he's in that movie. I think Giovanni Ribisi's in that movie.
Yep.
There's a lot of A-list guys now that were in that.
And the neat thing when they made that movie is they put all those actors through a boot camp, and they had to, just like they did with Band of Brothers. So, but Matt Damon didn't go through the boot camp, and it added to the resentment of. So, like, the other actors were like, F this dude.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember them saying that.
Yeah. So, that was kind of a neat thing. And a lot of the same people, like the technical advisors that did Band of Brothers, were involved with Saving Private Ryan.
So, I'm just going to go through some of the ones that didn't make it. These will be the honorable mentions.
These are Alex's honorable mentions.
Correct. My Cousin Vinny.
The two Utes.
Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
When she's like, I'm an expert on all things automotive. That's a bullshit question.
The Good Shepherd. If it had De Niro and Matt Damon, and it kind of like
I've seen. That's a good movie. Is that the one where they're training him to be some sort of spy?
They train him to be a CIA spy agent, whatever.
One of the things, like, he has to bang a girl from a bar that night, but the girls there are all in the same.
Yep. Yeah, and basically they're basically training these women on how to be wives of the CIA and the secret society spy. And it apparently, like, and I think De Niro is J. Edgar Hoover in it or something like that. It goes deep into like how these CIA agents were brought
I don't think
about.
I've ever seen that one.
War Dogs is another one. Just a good movie.
Yeah.
This is the one that this is the
kind
one
of a document. That's kind of a docu.
It is. Here's the one that I didn't know whether to put here or Saving Private Ryan. Fury.
I have it on my list.
Yeah.
I just watched it for the first time when I was actually homesick last week. And it was one of my ones. Fury is a great movie.
I literally the other day I put it on, and I was literally home and I put it on.
Yeah.
So that's why I really wanted to put it on this list. And then we talked about this one too, The Irishman. Good movie. It's too long though.
That's a tough sick day movie because it's so long.
It's so long. Yeah, you're getting in.
You
that
better
one
start that
maybe
thing.
more.
You better start that like as soon as you wake up.
What do you guys got as far as the stuff that didn't make it?
All right, so my honorable mentions: Shawshank Redemption.
Oh yeah, good one.
You know that I thought when I first started this list at home, that was the first movie I put on there, thinking that was going to be the first one I kicked out, but it didn't even make it. It's my honorable mentions.
That could easily be number one though.
Yeah, that
on
could
anyone's
be.
list.
Yeah, and it's on a lot too. If you're watching moving
Right.
around, Rain Man. Rain Man is another one, and then I guess I got three more. The Accountant.
Good flick, underrated.
They're making a second.
No, they shouldn't do that.
I don't know. We'll see. It was really good, but it was underrated. And I have another. I have an even larger underrated movie. It's going to be the last one. I'm going to say Back to the Future 2. I'm a huge Back to the Future fan, so I can pick those movies up at any point. And then last one, and I'm going to be surprised if either one of you have seen this movie, Knockaround Guys.
Heard of it?
So that is a true that's a true Vin Diesel before he was Vin Diesel movie. He was, and that's what made me think about it. I'm telling you, Knockaround Guys, it's kind of a mafia movie. It's kind of a mobster movie. I'm telling you, this movie is so good. The next time you're sick, I'm telling you, do yourself a Knockaround Guys. It's a sleeper.
I'm going to give you all three of the Back to the Futures.
Yeah.
I could easily watch those.
Three, choose my favorite.
I like three.
1 and 2 are I like 3, but 1 and 2 are good because 2 is really, in my opinion, the best because it goes back to 1, and they did such a good job, especially for the time period of the technology and CGI and all that other stuff. Like it just seemed the only thing that could have made those movies better is if they had thought and planned out 2 while filming 1, and you just little, like you saw something in the background of 1 and you're like, wait, what was that? And then in 2, you figure out what that was, but they didn't go that far. In 2, they went back to 1 and you saw stuff in 1, so that was cool. But, I mean, it is what it is. I hope they never remake it as much as I wish Michael J. Fox was well enough to make a 4th, because, but I hope they never remake it. And from what I understand, the 2 guys that own the IP, have said they will never reboot that series.
It can't be.
I don't know. There's been talks where they want to get Tom Holland to be like the new version of Marty McFly. And I could see that. It would I would be like kind of Ghostbusters, right? Ghostbusters, I don't think is a reboot, right? I mean, the old ones are still there, but
they just made girls do it.
No, see that, and okay. For the record, the 2016 Ghostbuster movie does not exist. I've never seen it. I'm a big Ghostbusters fan. I'm glad they didn't acknowledge it in the new movie, and because it's I'm sorry.
I saw it. It wasn't that bad.
It's terrible. Okay, okay. But anyway, I'm telling you, Knockaround Guys. I really want you guys to one day watch that movie and then tell me what you think, because it is so good.
Mike, what you got?
So, I got a ton of stuff written on here. Hunt for Red October's on there.
Yeah, good movie.
Good movie. That's what I could go to sleep to, though, because I've seen it so many times.
Of course, yeah.
Avatar is a one that I'll sit down and watch.
I do like Avatar.
You don't like Avatar?
No, not even a little bit.
Okay. I didn't think I would like it, and then one day...
Did you see the second one?
I have not, no.
I haven't seen it either.
The kids watched part of it. I thought it was kind of weird, but
yeah, I haven't. I don't even. I guess I've seen the first one.
It was too long between the first and the second. I lost my want to.
That movie, its claim to fame was just the technology used to make it back when it was made. It was advanced for the time. Other than that, wasn't it just a remake of Fern Gully or something like that?
Well,
Doesn't it follow the same plot line?
There was a lot of there's a lot of kind of left-wing political ideology that went into that movie too.
That's why you like it.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
It was honestly, you could have swapped out the Na'vi for Native Americans on Earth.
Yeah,
and you pretty much could have had the same movie.
Yeah,
just
and
without
that was
the CGI.
Was that kind of Fern Gully? Was that
pretty much?
Yeah.
So then, Two movies that are kind of similar.
Like, what was...
Snatch and Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels that Josh wouldn't let me have.
So 1917 and Dunkirk. Two war movies.
I haven't seen
I
either one
have
of them.
not seen 1917 yet.
Good movie.
And both of those, though, were Apple Plus movies. Mm-hmm. And see, here's the problem with Apple Plus, because nobody signed up for it. There are a lot of movies that are really good that nobody has seen because they haven't signed up for it.
Yeah.
And Apple is not releasing them anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
and they're both good. Well, no, Dunkirk I saw in the theater. I saw that in the theater.
So maybe Dunkirk was not an Apple.
Yeah.
I thought both of them were Apple.
1917 definitely was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was. But Dunkirk was in the theater. And then two that are kind of like off the beaten path way off from my other one are Office Space and Idiocracy.
Office Space. Idiocracy, I'll tell you, man. The name is perfect for that movie. Because
Idiocracy is today.
It's getting creepy.
President Camacho.
But Office Space is a good choice. Good choice.
It didn't do a whole lot in the theater.
No, it's one of those cult classics
Yeah.
that it really caught on after the fact.
Yeah, and like Jennifer Aniston's in it.
Yeah.
But it was like Lumberg fucked her.
Give
her my O face.
But no, Office. Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
I'm actually sad that I didn't have that one on my list.
Yeah, me too.
If that is on, and the thing is, that's not a movie that's on a whole. You might see it on like Comedy Central or FX. But
I missed one.
Which one?
Rounders.
Good movie, especially if you're a card player.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to kind of like. I don't know how that movie would sit with someone that's just not interested in cards at all. It is a good movie, but if that's on, I'll leave it on. Like, that's one of the ones I'll leave on. I don't know if I'll fire it up to watch it again because I've seen it whatever times. But yeah, I mean, how can you not like Teddy KGB?
I mean, I'm surprised that you didn't have that, and I'm surprised you didn't put that on the list. But
yeah, it was.
We both know why.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we appreciate you listening. Put down what your favorite movies are of all time, or ones that if you had no possible disruptions going on in your day, and you had no responsibilities, you can just sit back, relax, watch some movies. What would you put on the TV? Would you put on something that's just kind of on one of the channels, or would you fire something up specifically from one of the streaming platforms, or pop in a DVD, or what would you do? Let us know in the comments below. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or Spotify, please leave us a review. Thank you to Cheers and Spirits in the Arnold Station Plaza for providing the Bib and Tucker that I was drinking tonight. And if you're navigating, buying, or selling a home in this market, go see Brian Schilling at AnnapolisHomeExperts.com. Do not try and buy or sell a home in this real estate market without a professional. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.